Welcome to the Personal Computer Show. Today is March the 18th, 2020. A shout out to the men and women serving in the military of our country. We thank them for their services. I'm Hank Key and my colleague is Joe King. Do you know who has your personal data? Do you know how Facebook, Google, Amazon, and other big tech companies are using your personal data? Our website is pcradioshow.org. We are heard each Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on prn.fm, streaming on the Internet. Podcasts of the program is available on prn.fm, on the Internet, and pcradioshow.org. To listen to the live program on the telephone each Wednesday, it's 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and the number is 641-793-7091. You can leave us a message with your question or comments at hank@pcradioshow.org. In the news, and it's eerily quiet in New York this late afternoon. President Trump last Friday signed an emergency declaration over the coronavirus pandemic to deal with the public health challenge. As people are unable to meet together, as we have to keep a social distance, a segment has been put together to deal with conference call services apps that can be used. Watch out for a surge in emails from cyber criminals pitching coronavirus health information and fake cures. Average cable bill exceeds all household utility bills combined. Presenting IT Pro Series with Benjamin Rockwell, featuring Part 4 of 5, Why IT Security of Business. And from the Tech Corner, presentation on Cloud VPN versus your own home VPN server. And presenting All Hands on Tech with Marty Winston, featuring how user interfaces oppose intuition. Proclamation on declaring a national emergency concerning the novel coronavirus disease outbreak was issued March the 13th of this month. The COVID-19 outbreak in the United States constituted a national emergency beginning March the 1st of this year. Most schools, businesses, and restaurants have been closed till at least the end of the month. Sporting events, theaters, and even church services have been canceled. Many groups can no longer meet until further notice. If you are one of the groups that can no longer have in-person meetings, you may decide to use a conference call service for meetings. There are free and paid conference call services. Effective communication is a key to success for any organization. Email, instant messaging, traditional phone calls, and video chat all have their place in today's environment, but conference calls remain the best option for group communication over the phone. Most people tend to associate conference calls with corporate environments, with workers in suits seated around the table of a glass office overlooking the city. But that perception is just a fraction of just how conference call services are actually used. Businesses of all sizes use conference calls to communicate with remote workers, colleagues in other locations, clients, and prospective leads across the world. Whether you do this frequently or occasionally, it's important that you're using a reliable conference call service to facilitate these discussions. Not all conference call services are the same. There are plenty of free conference call services that get the job done. However, some of the best conference call services have additional features that you need to pay for. Factors like how many callers can be in a meeting, operator assistance, call recording, and video chat will impact that price. Regardless of what you're looking for, there are major applications when it comes to conference calling services. They are as follows: GoToMeeting, RingCentral, Uber Conference, Zoom, FreeConferenceCall.com, Google Hangouts, Vast Conference, WebEx, and BlueJeans. GoToMeeting has 3 plans: Professional starting at $12 a month, Business starting at $16 a month, and Enterprise with custom pricing. The professional and business plans can host conference calls with up to 150 and 250 participants respectively. The Enterprise plan is for up to 3,000 participants. GoToMeeting also has unlimited recording capabilities as well as automatic transcriptions of your conference calls. Next is RingCentral, free up to 100 participants, small to enterprise solutions. RingCentral is more than just a conferencing call platform, it's also a VoIP phone service. The free plan is actually pretty decent if you compare it to others on the list. While you're capped at 40 minutes per meeting, you can still have up to 100 participants. You can easily add on larger meeting options to your plan if you upgrade to one of their several paid plans that start as low as $20 a month. The system offers nearly every calling, collaboration, and mobile feature businesses would want from a phone system. Since it is housed in the cloud, there is no equipment to install, and they take care of all the maintenance and upgrades. Then you have Uber Conference. Uber Conference is free for up to 10 participants. You can upgrade this for $15 a month with custom numbers and hold music, analytics, and team management options. If you're looking for a simple and easy-to-use conference call service, Uber Conference is the most logical place to start your search because they have both free and paid options. For those who need basic calling features for small groups, the free option is a viable solution. At no cost, you can use Uber Conference for calls with up to 10 participants. You can also make an unlimited number of calls per year with this plan. The free conferencing call service comes with call recording, screen sharing, high-def audio quality, high-def video, and mobile app access. The maximum duration of a free call is 45 minutes. Larger organizations with needs beyond these limitations would need to sign up for the paid business plan, which is $15 per month billed annually. Calls made on this plan can be up to 5 hours long. A very popular call conference application is Zoom, free up to 100 participants. The Pro plan starts at $15 a month with high-def video conferences and cloud recording features. Although relatively new to the market, Zoom has quickly become an industry leader in the world of conference calls. This cloud-based system offers a wide range of free and paid options to accommodate businesses of all sizes. Zoom Basic and Zoom Pro will likely to be the best options for the majority of people who have need for call conference services. You could always upgrade to Zoom Businesses as your company scales. Zoom stands out for video conferencing and cloud conferencing rooms. You'll definitely want to lean towards this service if you plan to make professional video presentations via conference calls. Then there's a very popular one that's freeconferencecall.com, free to 1,000 participants. Screen sharing and private chat and recording capabilities and international conference calling capability. As the name implies, freeconferencecall.com is free. With more than 2 billion calls made across the globe, this is arguably the most popular free conference call service on the market today. Another top benefit of freeconferencecall.com is the mobile app access host, manage and join calls from your phone the same way you would from a desktop browser. The only real drawback of freeconferencecall.com is that the storage capacity is limited, but you can upgrade your storage at an affordable rate. And then there's another one that many of you have heard of that's called Google Hangouts, free with your Gmail account. Conference calls with up to 25 people, and there's Google Calendar integration, best used with G Suite account. This service is usually used for one-on-one meetings, but can be a viable option for smaller conference calls of up to 25 people. Google Hangouts make it easy for you to share your screen and facilitate video conference calls as well. To get the most out of Google Hangouts, you need to have a G Suite account, which starts at $6 a month, and you might already be using G Suite, and if you're not, you should start. There is no customer support if you're using it for free, so if you have a problem or question, you need to browse through user forums. There is no recording feature either, which seem to be standard with most of the other conference call services. Vast Conference is another conference calling service, and their paid plan starts at $12 a month. They have host instant conference calls, cloud recording, and storage. They also offer operator assist conferences as well. There are 4 different plans to choose from. Essential starting at $12 a month, Standard starting at $16 a month, Professional at $32 a month, and Enterprise, which is custom pricing. The biggest difference between the plans is the number of participants allowed in the meeting. These limits are 10, 100, 250, and 500 respectively. VAST Conference is best for business users that want to take advantage of operator-assisted conference call. This really adds a level of professionalism to your meetings. The audio and video quality of calls made with this service are very high quality. The customer support offered by VAST Conference is second to none. Even with entry-level plan comes with world-class support. There's WebEx, that's WEBEX. Free up to 50 participants, and they have a paid plan that starts at $13.50 per month for high-quality audio and video and cloud storage options. WebEx is a Cisco product, so you know that the technology used to power this solution is reputable and high quality. This is one of the best business conference call services to consider for both audio and video calling. It can handle up to 50 participants, 40-minute limit on conference calls, 1 gigabyte of cloud storage, and as you scale upwards, there is no meeting limits, and cloud storage increases as you scale upwards. And you can have up to 200 participants with 10 gigabytes of cloud storage. The free plan is fine, but you'll need the other options if you want to expand beyond that. And finally, there's BlueJeans. The plan starts at $12.50 a month, powered by Dolby Voice audio, recording and cloud storage options. It's used by LinkedIn and Facebook. BlueJeans specializes in video conference calls. It's well known for exceptional audio quality as well. This solution makes it easy for team communications from any device. For small businesses and individuals, BlueJeans has a plan starting at $12.50 per month, which can host meetings with up to 50 participants. They also offer an upgrade plan for $16.65 per month with conferencing capabilities for up to 75 participants. This option comes with recording features and cloud storage. If you need more information, you can contact BlueJeans for a custom solution and plan. Although the participant limit is 150 people, this is definitely less than some of the other enterprise-level solutions. The pricing will be a bit more appealing. Companies like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Zillow rely on BlueJeans for conference calls, so it's definitely a service that you can trust. One of the reasons why BlueJeans has such exceptional audio quality is because it's powered by Dolby Voice. The solution is designed to suppress background noises while giving each participant's voice a distinct location, which makes it sound as though everyone is in the same room. Loud talkers, soft-spoken participants, and simultaneous talking can still be heard unmuffled. This gives BlueJeans an edge over its competitors. How to find the best conference call service for you? There are an overwhelming amount of conference call service on the market today. Finding the best choice can be difficult. In order to pick the top option, you need to know what to look for when you're evaluating a potential service. What call limits do you have? The first thing you need to look at is the calling restrictions for a plan that you're considering. Pick a service based on what you need. If you have a small business with just a handful of remote employees, you probably don't need to pay for conference calls with a much higher limit number of participants. You also want to find out what the call durations are. It won't be effective or productive if you're forced to cut meetings short based on these limitations. Then there's call recording. The ability to record your conference call is another big advantage. Not every free service comes with this option. There are different levels of call recording capability. Some services will record the call and then force you to store it locally on whatever device you're using. Others have cloud storage based on your plan. Make sure you understand any storage limits before you sign up for the plan. Otherwise, you might be forced to upgrade when you run out of space. It is also worth noting that some call recording plans also come with transcription services. This will make it easier for you to go back and find certain points within a call without having to search through the audio. If you're going to take advantage of video calling features, see if the service records the videos or if the recording is just limited to audio calls only. A conference call service is useless if it's difficult to use. So look at the settings that's required, how you start a new conference call, and if you need a custom solution enterprise level plan, setup will be a bit more complex. In most cases, you'll have to reach out to a sales agent, which can be a pain and kind of time consuming. When you start a new conference service, it should be extremely easy to start up and to use. You want to ask, how do you add users to the call? Is there a call-in service? Do you need to schedule the meeting in advance? Is operator assistance available? These are all factors that need to be taken into consideration. Video conferencing. You may not always need it, so that's one thing to consider. Your conference calls will be useless if the quality and connection is poor. There is nothing worse than being on a call when you spend the whole time saying, "Can you hear me? Please repeat that." Or if calls are dropping, lagging, or sound scratchy. You just can't have a productive meeting if you have all those problems. When people start talking at the same time, and some people talk louder than others, it could be difficult to keep up with the conversation. The only way to really know how good the call quality will be is to test it out. So definitely take advantage of any free trials offered by the provider. Use it as much as possible to see if you're happy with results. And it goes without saying, you want to know what is the customer support if you are paying for a paid service. Like any product or service in any market, you should place big emphasis on customer support before you buy it. If you have an important call or something goes wrong, you need to be able to contact someone to fix those issues immediately. Some services offer 24/7 support over the phone, while others only offer it during business hours. There are free plans that force you to start a support ticket online, which won't solve your problem right away. If you can't contact a customer service representative, your conference call service should at least offer an extensive knowledge base for troubleshooting. And finally, the price. What's your budget for the conference calls? There are free plans and there are as well enterprise level solutions starting as high as $1,000 a month. What's your budget for the conference call? With that said, most of you should be able to find a viable solution for less than $20 a month. You can usually get a better deal if you opt in to an annual contract as to paying month to month. Just make sure you're comfortable with your decision before you commit to a long-term contract. Always take advantage of a free trial. At some point or another, every business and organization will need to make a conference call. So finding the best conference call service needs to be a priority for everyone. There's a mix of free and paid options, and there's something for everyone. Whether you're an individual, startup organization or business, large company or enterprise, nonprofit, or even a church, you'll be able to find a high-quality conference calling solution using this guide. Scammers are taking advantage of fears surrounding the coronavirus. The FTC and the FDA have jointly issued warning letters to 7 sellers of unapproved and misbranded products, claiming that they can treat or prevent the coronavirus. The company's products include teas, essential oils, and colloidal silver. The FTC says the companies have no evidence to back up their claims, as required by law. The FDA says there's no approved vaccines, drugs, or investigational products currently available to treat or prevent the virus. Avoid coronavirus scams. Here are some tips to help you keep the scammers at bay. Don't click on links from sources you don't know. They could download viruses onto your computer or device. Watch for emails claiming to be from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention or experts saying that they have information about the virus. For the most up-to-date information about the coronavirus, visit the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is cdc.gov. Ignore online offers for vaccinations. There currently are no vaccines, pills, potions, lotions, lozenges, or other prescriptions or over-the-counter products available to treat or cure coronavirus disease online or in stores. Do your homework when it comes to donations, whether through charities or crowdfunding sites. Don't let anyone rush you into making a donation. If someone wants donations in cash, by gift card, or by wiring money, don't do it. Watch out for a surge in emails from cyber criminals pitching coronavirus health information and fake cures. The average cable bill now exceeds all other household utility bills combined. This was released by DecisionData.org. Some fast facts. The average household cable package is now $217.42 per month. The average household spends $205.50 per month on all major utilities combined, which is electricity, gas, water, sewage, and garbage. The average household cable package cost continues to increase year over year. It's easy to set up autopay and forget how much we're paying per month for any number of utilities and services. For example, if you were to ask the average person what their monthly water bill is, we're willing to guess they might not have an accurate answer. The same goes for cable bills. It's rare to find a customer, especially one who signed up years ago, to forget about the monthly bill, to be able to recall how much they're paying each month. In fact, if you were to ask most people what they're paying for their cable package, most would likely reference the special sign-up rate and not what the bill has probably turned into following that introductory period. In late 2019, Fortune reported another year of annual increases in the average cable bill. They wanted to dive deeper and compare this to the average cost of all other household utility bills. They found that in the last year, the average consumer now pays more for their cable package than they do for most other household utilities combined. Given the continual annual increase to most cable bills, it doesn't appear as if this trend will be slowing down anytime soon either. We do expect to see the price of packages continue to increase on average in the coming years, given the most recent trends. Using a mixture of publicly available data from municipal utility providers, EnergyStar.gov, Consumers Report, and data resourced through third-party research, they were able to calculate the following approximate averages per utility in the United States. The average utility monthly cost for cable is $217.42. Average monthly cost for electricity and gas, $135.60. Average monthly cost for water, $54.90. And average monthly cost for garbage, $15. One important thing that they found in their research was how relatively expensive a cable bill is compared to other utilities for smaller households. The average cable bill stays relatively similar across household sizes, whether it's one person living in a small apartment or a family of 10 living in a large house. This is not true of utilities like electricity or water, with much wider scales for the average bill size depending on household size. It's normal for the average consumer to look into ways to save money on things like their electric or water bills through conservation efforts. But what we still don't hear discussed more frequently is how to cut costs on what is becoming every household's biggest utility bill. It's not as if cable is an optional service anymore, with having internet access in the home being almost as important as electricity at this point. There are several things you can do to save money on your cable bill. First and foremost, it's important to shop around. That's if you can. Because in some neighborhoods it's franchise and you only have one or two services available. Cable companies are always offering specials, and many with no long-term contracts. Check with every provider in your area to see what sort of specials they have running for new customers and consider long-term savings of making the switch. Second, talk to your current cable provider about options to lower your bill. Most people are probably paying for more bandwidth than they need, or for premium cable networks they really watch. Consider speaking with a sales rep at your existing cable company to discuss options to save money directly with your current plan. Third, purchase your own equipment, if possible, to avoid hefty rental fees. Most consumers simply don't know that they are renting a $50 to $80 modem from their cable company for anywhere between $10 to $20 a month. Purchase your own equipment and immediately start saving. For consumers looking to save money, the best place to start is by analyzing all monthly expenses and deciding where they can make cuts. The cable bill for most people will almost certainly offer some opportunity to cut costs. Take a look at your monthly bill and speak with your cable provider today if you have questions about how you can save money. Well, that's talking about the internet and TV, but how much telephone costs per month? Typical costs for basic phone services that include unlimited local calls generally cost $15 to $30 a month, depending on additional features. And what about cell phone expense? The average American aged 25 to 64 paid $114 a month on average for cell phone services in 2018. And that's according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's a staggering annual cost of $1,360 per person. What is the median income in the United States? It's about $56,000. People earning a $50,000 salary take home about $39,129 each year, which comes out to $3,261 per month. And that's according to a personal banking site, Gold Banking Rates, which analyze take-home salaries in all 50 states. So if you have a take-home of $39,129 and your communication expense is over $4,000, you're going to start cutting somewhere. And that's where cord cutting begins. Presenting IT Pro Series with Benjamin Rockwell, featuring Part 4 of 5, Why IT Security of Business.
We don't need passwords. Nobody wants our information. Yeah, right. This is Benjamin Rockwell, and now I'm going to spend some time giving you experience from my 30 years of being in information technology, of being a professional. This is part 4 of 5 in regards to why businesses need information technology, at least a person, some kind of person to keep you up to date with what you need to do in the technology portion of your business. For some of you, this will be insight. Others, reminders. Others will see this as a different way of thinking about whatever it is they're working with. I want you to know that you can actually reach out to me too, so please write me here at the show. Now, we've talked about communication, we've talked about research, we've talked about efficiencies. Now, I want to talk about security. And we think, okay, we don't need security. Nobody wants to know what we have here at our company. We just make the same widgets that everybody else does. And actually, no. There are all kinds of different things in regards to security that we as people, we think, oh, we don't need security, but yes, we do. There's a reason why we have locks on our various doors. There's reasons why we do close up certain books when people enter the room. There's always something that you and I are trying to hide from other people. Privacy is what sets us apart from animals at the zoo. Privacy is something that is very important to many of us, even though we give it away on Facebook and everywhere else. But in the business world, most businesses within the modern era are subject to things like ransomware, to various other security threats, and also attacks on our computer systems. If you don't believe that, I'll tell you, every time we turn around, what was it, a month or so ago, a matter of MGM Grand. MGM Grand Resorts got hit. Some 10 million records. But you know what? That's over on the resort side, over on the hotel side. There are people that would like to get your customer list. Even if you only have 100 customers, it's your competitor. The same one, you say, is making the same widgets that you are. And yeah, they may know about 50 of your customers, but they may understand that Yeah, you are keeping those 50 customers. How are you keeping those 50 customers? What is it that makes you different than they are? So they're interested in your information. So an information technology specialist of whatever kind that you are dealing with, just a professional, they can go through and they can say, yeah, you need passwords on your system. You need passwords on your server. You need to do this, that, or the other thing. And security ranges in all kinds of different directions. It's keeping out the bad guys. It's keeping out people who shouldn't be there. Maybe not bad guys and maybe not good guys, just people who might be just curious. It also makes sure that, yes, in the event something goes wrong, the security of the business itself is kept up to date because somebody did a backup. There are so many different security threats that exist. Technology can be used to protect your financial data. We know this. What about your employee data? You know, that competitor over there, he may want all of the lists of your employees and how to reach out to them. Hey, Jose works over there, and I hear he's a really good worker. How do we get Jose to work for us? Well, we got to find out how much he makes first. Oh, yeah, we can do that. Let's go on over let's hack into their systems. Yeah, that happens. Believe it or not, there are people out there, there are various ne'er-do-wells in the business world that, well, they will do whatever it is that they need to get this kind of information. There are also various confidential executive decisions that are made at every company. Even if you are a company of one, you don't want that information getting out. You don't want your emails to be out in the public, where your company of one will always be a company of one. It will never grow. Your company of 1,000 now is a company of 200 because, yeah, somebody found out that you said something wrong. This is all handled by having technology professionals check out your information security. There's proprietary information in every business. There are different things that you do, different ways that you do things. There are differences between your business and the one next door that's doing exactly what you think you're doing. But, well, let me rephrase that. They're selling the same widgets, but they're doing it a different way. They're making them slightly differently. They're not working with the same recipe that you have. There's something different about them. How can they be better? How can you be better? Well, if you get the information from them or they get the information from you on those little differences, they may be able to make up just a little bit more improvement in their production line. Information technology will help you keep your ideas, your business practices away from everybody. It's more than just passwords. It's more than just locking down your server. It's more than protecting your emails. There are so many different things. This is just scratching the surface. This is Benjamin Rockwell. Back to you, Hank.
Thank you, Benjamin. What is a VPN? VPN stands for Virtual Private Networks. A virtual private network is a connection method used to add security and privacy to private and public networks. Like Wi-Fi hotspots and the internet, virtual private networks are most often used by corporations to protect sensitive data. VPNs use advanced encryption protocols and secure tunneling techniques to encapsulate all online data transfers. Most savvy computer users wouldn't dream of connecting to the internet without a firewall and up-to-date antivirus. Evolving security threats and ever-increasing reliance on the internet make a VPN an essential part of well-rounded security. However, using a personal VPN is increasingly becoming more popular as more interactions that were previously face-to-face transition to the internet. Privacy is increased with a VPN because the user's initial IP address is replaced with one from the VPN provider. This method allows subscribers to attain an IP address from any gateway city the VPN service provides. For instance, you may live in San Francisco, but with a VPN you can appear to live in Amsterdam, New York, or any other number of gateway cities. Using a VPN in the United States is currently legal. However, if you use a VPN to commit an act that is illegal without a VPN, it is still illegal when using one. That may include downloading and selling copyrighted information, hacking into computers or networks without authorizations, and cyberstalking. By using Cloud Server VPN, you will be able to establish a site-to-site VPN connection between single or multiple office locations throughout the cloud. This connection provides you with the security of an internal network, protecting your apps from the public internet without hefty cost. Running on high-performance servers and high-availability cluster, that is the secret to every of your cloud security strategy success. Connect multiple servers together without exposing to the threat from the public internet. A recent BuzzFeed investigation discovered that several popular VPN and ad blocking apps for Android and iOS secretly collected user data and sent it to Sensor Tower, a cross-platform data analytics service for app developers. The snooping apps include AdBlock Focus, which runs on Android and iOS, Free and Unlimited VPN that runs on Android, Luna, that's Luna VPN, runs on Android and iOS, and Mobile Data that also runs on Android. The apps were able to track user data by gaining root access to the device's file and folders, something that both Apple and Google do not allow apps to do normally. But the developers use a simple loophole to get around that restriction. Many of the apps use misleading notifications promising extra features like LunaVP offering free YouTube ad blocking. If users downloaded additional files from a third-party website after the app was installed, these extra features would then ask for additional permission, including root access, in order to function. Both Apple and Google have banned the offending apps from their respective stores and are investigating the development companies behind them in response to BuzzFeed's findings. Users should uninstall the apps listed, especially if you side-loaded any of them from third-party sources rather than the Apple Store or Google Play. None of these apps have disclosed their data tracking behavior, nor their connection to Sensor Tower, and they weren't Sensor Tower's only apps, just the ones most recently available on each platform. If you have other VPN or ad blocking apps installed and you're not sure who made them, run a quick web search to see if Sensor Tower was the developer. If so, delete the apps. There is also yet another reminder to pay attention to app permissions, especially root access permission. Unless you're absolutely certain that what you're installing is safe and you need to grant an app root access for a specific reason, don't do it. Doing so gives the app direct access to basically everything on your phone, all your files, folders, and apps, and full access to do whatever it wants. And even if an app is asking for normal permission, they may not be necessary at all. A VPN doesn't need access to your contacts or your camera, and an ad blocker doesn't need access to your file folders. Pay attention and scrutinize the permissions an app asks for. If any of them seem unnecessary or suspicious, deny the request and uninstall it. If you don't trust these cloud VPN offerings, well, there is an alternative. Set up a Raspberry Pi VPN server. You could do this easily by doing a search on the following words. Set up a Raspberry Pi VPN server. To get the installation guide details of how to turn your Raspberry Pi into a VPN server. This is then done via hardware. Running your own VPN server is a great way to increase your mobile security and get access to your LAN from the internet. PiVPN turns your Raspberry Pi into a cheap, effective VPN server using a guided installation that does most of the hard work for you. You'll be able to bypass website filters at work or school and easily connect to devices on your home network like file servers or printers. And with just a few extra steps, you can also enable end-to-end encryption and run all of your mobile internet through a secure and anonymous tunnel. What is PiVPN? PiVPN is a lightweight open VPN server designed to run on a Raspberry Pi 2 or 3. It gives you access to your home network through a secure connection over the internet. By plugging a Raspberry Pi into your router, it acts somewhat like a bridge between mobile devices and your network. You can then use your PiVPN to access your files, music, and movies from anywhere, encrypt your mobile internet connection, print on your home printers from your laptop, bypass firewalls, and website restrictions at work and abroad. And it hides your mobile IP address. Connect with your home cameras and smart devices. If you find yourself forwarding a lot of services through your router, a home VPN connection is a more secure alternative than a cloud VPN. Each port you forward is a tunnel that someone, somewhere could use to get into your network. PiVPN only opens up one port and it uses strong encryption to keep your LAN secure. Give it a try. It's a little project, doesn't cost that much, and let me know how it goes with the project. And presenting All Hands on Tech with Marty Winston, featuring how user interfaces oppose intuition.
Hey, I want to congratulate you people. Yesterday was something of a test of your ability to accept and tolerate others. And it looks like you're committed to judging no one by the color of their beer. So here's a somewhat related question. How do you judge readings you see on a product's user interface? Windows and Mac apps have matured enough to make more consistent sense, but if you've ever watched a grown-up with no computer experience try to get a handle on what they mean and what to do about it, well, you get a sense of the challenge. Web and online apps are worse. Smartphone apps, even worse than those. And displays built into products seldom raise the bar. You know what? It's all your fault. Yep, you. So let's take a look at what's wrong and a look at what the interface designers could be doing differently and a look at what their company should be doing differently and then a look at why a lot of responsibility ultimately comes down to people who buy these products anyway. Maybe you don't want to hear all this, so if nothing else, here's a nugget to take away with you. If an interface confuses you, if you don't know quite what it means, if you're not quite sure what to do about it, if you feel like you have to take a class or buy an idiot or dummies book about it, stop taking the blame. The fault, the shortcoming, lies with the product designers, not with you. The only mistakes you made were deciding to buy the thing anyway and not returning it and not pestering the bejeebers out of their support staff. After all, your time is not worthless. You pay money for these products. You shouldn't have to pay more money to learn how to use them or to interpret their display hieroglyphics into something meaningful. You shouldn't have to buy books or take courses or even blow hours on support videos to know what to do. Don't surrender to that. Push back. And for people out there designing these products, no matter what corner of tech you're into, the thing you most need to get into is intuition. We'll get into those information displays in a minute, but first, consider a flagship example of an easy, fundamentally simple user interface getting complicated. You hear a phone ring. You want to answer it. In the early days of wire-connected desk phones, you would just lift the handset off the hook, say hello, be done. You've answered the phone. On a more complicated, old-time, multi-line desk set, well, you might have to push one button first. Count that as a two-click experience. But today, You may have to dismiss a standby screen or two, then select the phone icon from the main screen, then click on the button that connects the call. It's not easier. How many actions does it take to buy a drink or a snack from a vending machine? That got more complicated too. The idea of counting clicks as one way to judge ease of use in a user interface started when usability studies became a thing for website designers. What was on the main screen, the home page? What was on the top fold, meaning what you could see without scrolling down? How obvious were the roles of any tabs or buttons on the screen? How intrusive were any pop-ups? Let's take that kind of ease of entry testing to smartphone apps. We now today have a 3-line icon called the hamburger, usually up in the top left corner. That opens a main menu. Somewhere else will be a drawing of a gear where there's, some kind of settings menu. What's on the rest of the first screen? If it's exactly what you came into the app to see, good job. And it's even not so bad if after the first time through, you can set it up to see what you want on that first screen. But how often does that happen? Usually these days, that's just the starting point for squinting and clicking along some non-standardized route to find what you wanted. It takes at least 3 clicks in Google Play Store to update your apps. Getting to your Google Chrome homepage may take dozens of clicks if it thinks you want to start on the last tab you closed. So, click path testing, finding a way to get to the good stuff quicker and be less of a clicker. That's all part of the challenge. Out in the world, attention to that comes and goes. It's a trend thing. But for the moment, let's ignore that most of our user interface experience these days is through the screen of a smartphone. Let's think more broadly. So, say you wanted to design a thermometer. 100 years ago, you'd want it to look a lot like one of the glass tube thermometers, whether that's mercury or colored alcohol, doesn't matter. It would have a printed scale, be within a printed scale with numbers next to the scale lines. Why? Because that's consistent with how people had come to expect thermometers to look and how they knew how to read one. There was something slightly visceral about that line within the glass getting longer or shorter, reaching literally higher for higher temperatures or lower for lower temperatures. If you take all that away and just go digital, just display the numbers that represent the current temperature, just the numbers. It's a lot less visual and a lot less visceral. It's also less complete. Are the numbers you see in Fahrenheit, in Celsius or centigrade, in degrees Kelvin? It might help to color code the temperature ranges, like they do on TV weather maps. You may want to know whether the temperature you see right now is higher or lower than it was yesterday or an hour ago. You might want to have an idea if right now it's going up, going down, or staying steady. Which leads to the question, how do you show all that? Is there some simple way that everyone can understand? Are you just shoveling more information in, or are you making the basic information more useful? I'll repeat those questions because they're pretty central to the idea that a user interface should be intuitive. How do you show all that? Is there some simple way that everyone can understand? Are you just shoveling in more information, or are you really making the basic information more useful? It isn't about gussying up thermometers. I'll use the example of home radon measurements. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the Surgeon General's Office estimate that radon exposure is responsible for some 20,000 lung cancer deaths in the U.S. each year. The EPA recommends taking active measures to mitigate radon levels if the level in your home is above 4. The units are picocuries per liter, but all you need to remember right now is the number 4. And listen, this isn't just theory. The home we moved into last April scored a 4.5, so we had to have mitigation done. After mitigation, it scored a 1.8. But as I write this, it's reading 3.5, up from an average of 3.0 last week and 2.6 last month. Did your eyes just glaze over? 4.5, 4, 3.5, 2.6, 1.8. Even after my little narrative, it's all just a jumble of numbers. How does anybody know what any of those mean? You shouldn't have to answer that. I shouldn't have to answer that. The user interface should answer that. The reading right now, 3.5, is showing on the app for the AirThings Wave Plus, which is the only gizmo I have here that can monitor radon levels. It shows that number inside a color-coded circle. Green if things are okay. Yellow to alert you to something you want to investigate, and red if there's a danger level. And that's pretty good, but it's not enough. For one thing, it's not telling me that 4 is where to start worrying. Maybe that circle should look more like a car tachometer, with markings at points where something needs to change or shift. If the legend goes from 0 to maybe mark the top one 5 and higher, for example, well, it tells me all I need to know about whether or not what I'm seeing is okay, especially if there's a danger mark at 4. But for another thing, instantaneous radon readings are less significant than levels sustained over time. My level right now might merit a yellow caution light, but my average levels are still in the green. And the display, the user interface, could be telling me that all in one simple screen. In terms of indoor air quality, the same approach could be good for ozone, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, particulate matter, and so on. It isn't the absolute numbers that matter. They're okay to display, but the only way to address intuition is to place them in a context. And for that, graphics just work much better than numbers alone. Many other things can use a similar common-sense approach. Blood pressure numbers, pollen counts, fever thermometers, grilling thermometers. But it's going to take us, you, me, and everyone else who buys products to push back when the designers get lazy and try to shirk their proper burden of work onto end users. Next time, not sure yet. I'll probably be ready to talk about those clever LED light fixtures. I'm tempted to talk about tanks versus tankless for water heaters. Maybe flooded basements need attention. Whatever it is, it won't be unexpected, because by now, being unexpected has become exactly what you expect from me.
Thank you, Marty. Public service announcements. Computer Club meetings in the New York, New Jersey, and the Connecticut tri-state region. The computer clubs have random access sessions at each of these club meetings. If you have any questions or need for technical advice, the club members are more than happy to assist. All these computer club meetings that are announced are open, free to the public. President Trump last Friday signed an emergency declaration over the coronavirus pandemic to deal with the public health challenge. All scheduled computer meetings in the tri-state region have been canceled. Our website is pcradioshow.org. We are heard each Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on prn.fm, streaming on the Internet. Podcasts of the program is available on prn.fm, on the Internet, and pcradioshow.org. If you have any questions for us, just send us an email address to hank@pcradioshow.org. In the meantime, stay in touch and remember to do your regular backups. I'm Hank Key, and on behalf of Joe King, Michael Horowitz, Marty Winston, and Benjamin Rockwell, we thank you for listening. Stay safe and healthy until we meet again, same time, same station next week.